being a businessman. I think this is fantastic, but it does not come without a lot of controversy. And so now, if you haven't seen, let's see, it's Skyrim. That is the very first game, I believe, to start working on the paid mods in Steam. And what this is on Steam. There's a mod community. So there's all kinds of games on Steam where you buy it and it may or may not have mods available for it. Skyrim is a huge one for mods. And so basically, a mod is you buy Skyrim and then you can buy, you could get for free previously these add-ons to enhance your gameplay in some way. It could be audio, visual. It could be, characters. It could be some new functionality in the game that wasn't there before. Really, it's the community being very creative, saying, "Hey, we've got some, I've got some talent. I can put it here. I can make this, and I've done this to the game. I think it's really great. I'm putting it out here to the community." Okay, all fine and dandy. In fact, that's really great. So there's a lot of good game companies that started with their founders being modders in games. And so there's many good examples of that out there. And so, what you're looking at here with these mods, you might be actually interacting with future game developers. And there's been several contests about that and everything. So, the good thing is this adds content to your game. And the bad things is that it can add bad content to your game or good content depending on how you look at it. Because obviously, you can run around naked. I don't know if you know this, but you can run around naked in Skyrim. Just all clothes off. Everybody can be naked, and that's one of the mods. Who'da thunk it? Yes, I know. There's plenty of that out there. Of course, that'll be the number one seller, right? But they won't talk about that on the homepage, will they? So, anyway, okay. Down to the nuts and bolts of this, the business end of things, which is that Skyrim has said that they will allow mods for the game. Okay, that's step one. Step two is that mods are being published, and people had been making mods for Skyrim. And then the third thing is that they've stated that they allow them to sell mods. So these mod creators can make the content and then can turn around and sell it if it's good. So all fine and dandy. It sounds really great and everything. And I think that anybody who has the talent to make extra content like this and do a good job, and if it's something that's needed and wanted, something that you want to play with, then, if it costs a couple bucks, no problem. So starting out, there has been, there's a few mods here. And in fact, apparently, this is what caught my attention. Apparently, this mod right here, this guy fishing, they are accused of, now I don't know this for a fact, all I know is what I'm reading out there, all I know is what other people are saying, and all I know is that Steam has pulled this particular mod. And so the issue is that there's claims that they're using content that was from another mod, and that they've incorporated this content within their mod, and now they're selling it. So, of course, the other party who the content in dispute that came from them, they're saying, "Hey, what about me? We created this portion of it, and now they're selling it. Where's my money? Where's my credit? Where is the legitimacy in this?" And so Steam has said that they are not going to police these things. Obviously, they have had to pull this one. And so anytime there is a content claim, it really, I'm assuming Steam is following it as a copyright dispute. And a copyright dispute basically is someone saying, "Hey, I made this. I own the rights to it. They took it, and they're using it without my permission. That's all it is. And so if they file that properly, Steam or any place else that's doing something like this is required by law, if they're a member of the World Trade Organization, if their country is a member of the World Trade Organization, they're required by law to take the stuff down. And then there's a whole legal process, which we can get into that some other time on another show. But there is a whole legal process, and it's designed, if I'm a content creator and someone steals my stuff, it's designed for me to be able to get that stuff offline. And so there's actually 75% of the power goes to the person making the claim. Only 25% of the power goes to the person receiving the claim. And so basically, they're going to have to prove that they made this. And when I've proven stuff before, all I've done is like, hey, this image was mine or whatnot. And the other party says, bullshit, we made this image. And then I produce the original. And the original uncropped. It has all the extra stuff around the border and everything and all that stuff, and I win. So although you win right away, but if they dispute it, then anyway, you can go to court. Okay, so this is a Steam has stated that they want this to be a free marketplace, that they want it to kind of police itself, and that is. That's good, but will it work? So we have some examples of this in other areas. One is that like Unity. Unity has a store. Unity is a game development application and platform for making games, and so Unity allows for content to be created and then sold in their marketplace. They've already gone through this process. They've had people make claims. They've had people steal other people's stuff and put it up for sale. The same things are happening here. Unity has had to really tighten down and make sure that things are under control and monitored. But then there's some other things, some other areas which you guys may not have thought of. Think of Google Play and think of the Apple Store. And think of, so here's my iPhone. I've got all this content I can get, all these apps that I can buy. And here's my, Android phone. And here's all these apps that I can buy. Apple moderates heavily. Google does not. So it is possible to have content that is moderated by the public. And so, if something gets enough downvotes or gets enough issues, then it just disappears from the market. And that's kind of how Google handles it. Apple, on the other hand, says, okay, we've got all these rules and regulations. You got to follow all these things. You got to dot your I's. You got to cross your T's. You got to do all this stuff. And if you do all of that, then we may approve it. And one of the things is they don't allow competition in some areas. They allow that, like, hey, there's already 3 of this type of, whatever application, and we don't need a 4th. So there's already enough out there, even if yours is better. So I think that it's good that Steam is trying to take the freedom model, but it's going to cost them a lot more controversy, and I imagine there's going to be some lawsuits. If there's an app, if there's a add-on out there and it's a bestseller, let's just say it sells 100,000 copies, and then it's found out that there's copyrighted stuff in it, it's owned by someone else, that's enough money for a lawsuit. Now, these apps are not very expensive. And so just the paid content right here, just kind of this little thing. I mean, we got a bundle right here for $27. Wow. But then, these other 3 apps, like $2.99, $1.99, $1.49. Okay, so one of the complaints out there is that because these apps are created by people and they're put on the marketplace, why is it they're only getting 25%? And what I mean by that is, and I tried to verify this. I've read it in a few places, but I have not been able to verify this on the Steam site. And so basically, and I'm sure it's there, I just didn't find it. Basically, what is being reported is that if someone sells an app or an add-on, a paid mod for $1, then 75% goes to Steam, and that is divided on the back end between Steam and the game publisher. And then 25% goes to the mod creator. And so let me just, I just want to say that there's a reason for that kind of division. And I want to go over that because I think a lot of people don't understand that. A lot of people are looking at this like going, hey, shouldn't it be the other way around? Shouldn't it be 75% going to the content creator? The answer is no. And here's why. It's because at that volume of dollars, if this was a $100 sale, then if it was $100, then yes, 75% or 50, at least 50% should be going to the content creator. But when you're talking at $1 or $2, here's what happens. So when I use a credit card and I use PayPal or whatever, and I buy something from you for $1, then a lot of it is eaten up in fees, typically 35% out of $1. And that is for the fees. But it's because of the dollar amount. It's because the fees, like a general fee for PayPal for receiving money, is like 35 cents. So if it's 35 cents and it's out of $1, you've got what? You've got 65 cents left over. So out of that, then there has to be another split. And when you get down to it, if 25% is going to the content creator, then it's kind of fair, isn't it? Because there's these costs of doing business. Now, on the flip side, if it was $100, then it would still be a 35 cent charge plus a percentage. And that percentage would be maybe as high as 4% for receiving. So it could be, if it was $100, it could be, let's say, $4.35, something like that, and for receiving those funds. Now, Steam, obviously, Valve, has a huge volume of sales, and so I'm sure they've got the lowest rates possible. But that's kind of the economy on this, and why on these little apps, or these little mods, why so much of that is taken in favor of Steam and the game publisher and not the content creator. So, I don't know. I don't know if they have any sort of sliding scale. This is something I tried to look up and I wasn't able to find. I don't know if they actually have a sliding scale. So if they do, that's great. Because what it would mean is that if you sell an app for $5, that maybe you're getting 50%, instead of $1 getting 25%. They may not even have $1 apps on here. I don't know. But, we can certainly look. So there's some other issues with all of this. Oh my God, here's one for 49 cents. So think about that for just a second. The cost of receiving the 49 cents, if it's 35 cents on Steam's end, they've got, what is that? Is that 14 cents left over? I don't know. That seems kind of crazy. But there it is. Oh, here's one for 25 cents. Dude, if you guys want to test this, it's real easy to test. Send your buddy in PayPal, not as a gift, not as a friend or anything. Send them 25 cents and see what happens. I'll tell you what happens. They receive zero. None. Goose egg. And the reason for that is because the fees exceed the amount of money sent. So maybe they're doing something else here where you have to fund this and you have to put in like $5 at a time in order to be able to do this. So, okay, so there's a lot of paid stuff here. Now, there's some other questions. One of the questions that I have is, okay, so I download this mod, and it doesn't work. For whatever reason, it doesn't work. So Steam has addressed this by saying 24 hours, and you can return it. So if it's not working right, for whatever reason, within 24 hours, you can return it. I think this is good. I think that's really good. But what happens when there's an update to Skyrim out here, and the mod that I have, that maybe I paid only 50 cents for it. Maybe I paid $50 for it. I don't think they have any of that, I don't know if they have any that are that expensive. Let's see here. Top rated, most recent. Nah, there's, I was hoping to maybe, review it by dollar amount. And so what if the mod breaks whenever Skyrim updates, then, what happens? What if it happens on the 26th hour? I'll tell you what happens. You're screwed. So you better hope that that the mod creator will make an update. And I would assume that if the mod creator is actually making money on this, then they would be apt to update it right away, and they would want to be known for that. And I would think that would actually be part of the ratings that you would see on these apps, which they can be rated. So anyway, I think this is we've seen this in some other games and stuff. We've seen a lot of games try this, especially Unity games. And now that Steam is getting into it, I think that it's going to open this up quite a bit bigger, and this is going to be much more accepted. There's going to be a lot more problems. Let them work out the bugs. Give them a couple of months to work out the bugs. They will. And then if you want to, stick with stuff to where you're getting good value for your money, go for stuff that's highly rated. Don't jump on the train today. And so I think overall it's good. I think that if you are a content creator and you're doing a good job and you can charge something for your stuff, that you should. And then at the same time, many people say, well, I should be getting all this stuff for free. Well, think about it. Would you change your mind if you were the one making the stuff? And there is plenty of stuff for free still. But would you change your mind? Would you be of a different mindset if you were putting your hard work into this? I mean, I don't know how much time they put into each one of these mods, but some of them I'm sure are hundreds and hundreds of hours. So overall, I think it's good. I think that that this is a step in the right direction. It helps both the community, it helps the longevity of the game.
And I should have known those alien maggots booby-trapped this subscriber train.
That is so funny. I know that I muted Duke. I muted him, and he spoke anyway. Goodness. So, anyway, overall, I think it's good, and this is kind of a new area now, where if you're creative and you can put stuff out there, just think about it. Do you think you could make a living doing this? If you're good enough, maybe so. So that's it for today. I'm markeedragon. Take care, and if you've got any questions, email me. My email address is in the description of the YouTube video. It's markeedragon@markeedragon.com. Feel free to email me your questions, and they may make it on episodes here. So